when I come forward, I'm going to break that down even further. And we still have callers on the line. My nephew from Atlanta, Georgia is on the line. I'm calling everybody nieces and nephews, but I only got one niece in here. But if you younger than me and you calling in, this is my nephew calling in right now. Call in. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we're going to Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to talk about it.
He doesn't love me, so I tell myself, I do. One, don't pick up the phone. You know he's only calling because he's drunk and alone. Two, don't let him in. You have to
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tammy Eswick with BIN News Now. The National UFO Reporting Center releasing a new report on sightings in New York. They say there's been 66 reports of unidentified flying objects so far this year, with 6 sightings in June alone.
That's believable because we can't be the only people out here, honestly.
But some New Yorkers are skeptical.
Seeing is believing, so I got to see it to believe it.
If I seen it, I would believe it.
What was it that Mulder from the X-Files used to say? I want to believe. But then again, he also said, trust no one. According to a new World Atlas analysis ranking the worst fast food in America, they say Wendy's was top of the list. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass talking about her confrontation with ICE on Monday. She says ICE and National Guard troops swarmed a park where kids were, rattling them. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Something is going on with the Dodgers pitching staff. The Dodgers have been outscored 38-7 in their last 4 games. They lost their 4th straight Monday night, a 9-1 loss at Milwaukee. A bases-loaded walk in the bottom of the 9th inning gave the Angels a 6-5 win over Texas. The Angels are 21-20 at home. Ben Shelton, the only African-American in the men's quarterfinals at Wimbledon, will play Yannick Sinner of Italy on Wednesday. Sinner, ranked number 1 in the world, is 5-0 against Shelton. At 22, Shelton is the youngest player in the men's bracket to advance to the quarterfinals at Wimbledon since Andy Roddick in 2004. Roddick was 21. Tough break for the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers found out Monday that Halliburton will miss all of next season. Halliburton tore his right Achilles tendon in the first quarter of Game 7 in the NBA Finals on June 22nd. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First. Pretty sure you knew that. And my first thing today and every day is giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Yes, I'm back in the United States of America. I don't know if I look like I traveled a gazillion miles. And speaking of miles, he's back here too. And this is how we do it on a Talking Point Tuesday. Typically, hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic or a person of interest. And today will be no exception to that. We do have a lot to talk about as usual. We are going to be... And I can't say I've been following every detail, but he has. We'll be talking about the Diddy verdicts and all of that in hour three with a dream team, O.J. Simpson dream team, attorney Carl Douglas. We are opening up the phone lines as usual for our talking points all day long at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. And, of course, you can call us any hour. Right now, though, I know it's a Tuesday. She's usually here on a Friday, but welcoming me home, doing me a little solid this morning. She is a labor activist, and she's a mama and a KBLA contributor. Sherri Bell, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, everybody out there. I'm so excited to be here on a Talking Point Tuesday because I feel like my life is just full of talking points.
Is it really? I mean, it seems like the world is getting more and more full of talking points these days. But I mean, give me an example. What kinds of things are you talking about?
Just like what we're seeing now, currently, about the political theater that we're seeing, the imagery that we're seeing in the news media, and a lot of the contradictions, and how in this moment is going to frame history moving forward, and what we're going to see, just trying to frame, connecting the dots of like what happened in the past to the present, just trying to tell people this is nothing new. What you're seeing has been in the works, just trying to educate people and just have, have people to feel empowered and hopeful, but also like informed. Like you don't feel so weak if you know and feel like it's strengthened by knowledge.
Yeah, I think that's right. Coming back to the United States, which, I've never felt so concerned about immigrating, quote unquote, into my own doggone country. Mm-hmm. It's really not immigrating. What do you call it? Repatriating, crossing the border. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then we have to see these these videos
right.
of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, or whatever her name is. What they call her, Homeland Security Barbie.
Well, that's her after picture, but yeah.
No doubt. Actually, I read where she has an entourage of hair and makeup. Her glam squad travels with her. I think that may be a first for a Homeland Security Secretary. But anyway, I'm not mad at it. Do you, boo? But talking points.
Yeah.
She's telling us how she's keeping us safe.
Mm-hmm.
And the spiel is clearly meant to justify the invasion of LA, the invasion of other cities, the terrorizing of U.S. citizens by Homeland Security and Immigration's Customs Enforcement. But she's got her little, TikTok video up there telling us how she's keeping us safe. And I'm thinking, as I'm standing in line, I do not feel safe at all right now.
Right. I think those statements are not based in fact. Right. Those are, it's just spewing a narrative in order to terrorize our communities. When you think about the people who have been targeted and kidnapped off the street, they have no criminal record. When you think about people on horseback and in MacArthur Park, preying on vulnerable people who are probably struggling with substance abuse, and you're bringing federal agents into a city that has its own law enforcement mechanism under the pretense that we're in some type of danger when it's just a normal everyday sunny day in Los Angeles. And it's just perpetuating this whole system of, I hate to say it, but white supremacy and oppression, right? You have these, what is it called? Alligator Island, right? That they're trying to ship and store.
Alligator Alcatraz.
Alligator Alcatraz. They got the little ice baseball caps on the alligators. I don't know if that's AI, but.
It probably is. But, I mean, they also said that, Kristi Noem said that they have 60 million to go before they reach their goals, which, from what I understand, is close to the entire Latino population of the United States. So basically, she's saying let's deport them all, which many are born and raised, multi-generations.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a gross overreach. And when you think about who's profiting from these detention centers, how certain elected officials or people who've donated to elected officials have stock in these detention facilities and have a lot of financial gain, to stand from people being held in these detention centers. Those are taxpayer dollars deporting people who have no legitimate threat. I'm going to say about an overwhelming majority of the people that have been deported have no criminal record. So you're taking people off the streets that have been paying taxes, that are not criminals, to place them in ICE where U.S. tax dollars are funding their detention and profiting and rich, folks are profiting, largely rich males, that own these, have stock in these detention facilities are profiting. So what we're seeing now is a perpetuation of an oppressive system that is of white supremacy. It's just fueling it, and then people don't really see it. So, I mean, I hope they see it, right? I hope they see it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that gives me the most hope right now, speaking of talking points, is that they're overreaching so wildly, not just with what they're saying, but what they're doing, right. And the things don't match. Some people are going to keep going for the okie doke, but I think it's just going to be harder and harder to ignore the lies and the intention. You're referencing like Stephen Miller owning stock in Geo Group. Geo Group is one of the largest private prison owners in the United States, and our tax dollars do go to pay for those prisons. So he's profiting off of his own policies, even though Stephen Miller has long been suspected of being a card-carrying white supremacist. Now we also see the financial gain that's built into that. And so it adds another level of menace to that portfolio, but I also think it becomes more and more obvious to people. The talking point is, we're going to make you safer. You're going to make us safer by profiting off of snatching citizens and non-citizens alike off the streets. And when you say 500,000 Haitians are no longer have protection, that means that now you're making them illegal so you can fill your quotas.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Yesterday they were legal and going through the processes requested by our government. Today they're illegal and you can fill up your prisons for profit.
Right. And it's like 17 countries that have temporary status protection here in the United States. And the only country that's on there that is not from like a Latin or African or like Asian country is the Ukraine, and they're I know basically that temporary status was given to Haitians because their country was in turmoil and and people's lives might be lost if they return home.
And it's still in turmoil.
Right. So
plus we had the earthquakes. Plus, if you really want to get deep, we had the U.S. meddling. I mean, the reason that their democratically elected president was overthrown was the United States policy. So regime change, which we love to do, we like to hit and hide our hands.
Right. And, so we see all this happening in real time in an era where information is readily available. And, I was thinking this morning about, how when somebody passes out on the ground and you get that smelling salt and you like put it in front of them to wake up. I don't know, in the movies, like I'm hoping like what we seeing now is the smelling salt to get people to wake up and to see what's going on. The people who voted for this administration and how the policies are profoundly negatively impacting their loved ones, their day-to-day life, by cutting essential services, by cutting, by enabling the rich to get richer with tax breaks, and how policies that were meant to help them are really only temporary fix, right? To sunset the taxes on tips and the tax on overtime. It's only like 3 years. So like, hopefully people are seeing more of what's going on and waking up to be able to use our only tool that we really have to change things is the ballot box, right? Hopefully what we're seeing right now will weaken political power that is bought with corporate dollars, right? They can't buy our vote legitly. They buy it with influence, with news ads, with people who canvass, with news media articles. That's how they buy the vote. But if we don't pay attention to that and we get educated and informed and pay attention to what's going on and go to the ballot box and vote in our best interest, those corporate dollars won't have as much weight. They won't matter. So hopefully that is this time.
Yeah, that's why we never got a governor, Meg Whitman or Carly Fiorina in California, because people saw through, or for that matter, Mayor Rick Caruso. It's because the people saw through hundreds of millions of dollars in expenditures and made their own decision. 800-920-1580 if you want to join in or jump in the YouTube chat. The comments are back live, youtube.com, KBLA 1580, Sherri Bell and Dominique DiPrima. And we are unapologetically progressive still. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you.
got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROYAL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROYAL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROYAL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we're back to Dominique DiPrima and Sherri Bell, and it was going down in MacArthur Park yesterday. This is what I came home to, this news, that they basically rode in on horseback, like you said, a full military occupation of MacArthur Park. Here's the talking point I heard on that on social media. Well, MacArthur Park is full of drug addicts and nobody takes their kids there anyway. Wait, what? First of all, when was the last time you've been there? Because that's not what I've seen recently. But secondly, are you saying that we will suspend the Constitution and use the U.S. military against U.S. citizens because you think there's unpleasantness, trash, and possible drug use in a city? Because that's every city in America.
I mean, it's idiocracy. Basically, it's known that MacArthur Park is a largely Latino populated park. And when you looked at the park, there was barely anyone there, right? It was sparsely populated. There was no immediate threat to have that amount of resources deployed in a city park to detain undocumented migrants when we have a LAPD, a sheriff, we got all our own local law enforcement. So basically you're here to carry out this current president administration agenda of scare tactics and retaliation against Democratic cities who largely opposed his policies and spoke out against him during his campaign and after.
And these punk bees got to roll up with masks on. Hurry up and pass that legislation, right. Scott Wiener, because to me, that's what makes it worse, because they're rolling up like terrorists.
Right. It's really terrorizing our communities and a waste of our resources while you're cutting essential government services, cutting our jobs that are contributing to a lot of the natural disasters that we probably going to talk about.
Not to mention, right. There's relief needed in Texas right now.
Right.
So instead of chasing people around a park with armored vehicles in tactical gear,
but what they're doing is
go to Texas and save somebody.
But they don't want to do that because what they're doing is, first of all, they want to carry out their little retaliatory agenda. But basically, it's upholding an oppressive system that we're under. What they're doing right now is maintaining the current power structure as it is, right? You're rounding up people to get paid to hold them to work for free, right? You basically slave catching, but not slave catching. You want to make them slaves. It's like history repeating itself in a very ugly way. And, for our mayor, our first Black female mayor to be right in the middle of that crowd, standing firm, standing strong, calling the head of customs, right, to order these barbarians, like they acted like it, out of our neighborhood, out of our city. This is our city, right? And I was proud of her for doing that. And to hold a press conference and reiterate our point. The concern that I have is this administration is very unstable mentally and with their actions.
Yeah, very erratic. I mean, we saw Netanyahu meeting with the president. Whew, wow. It's important to stay positive and encouraged. But yeah, you're right. They're very erratic. And this is the thing, we talk about FAFO. That's one of the talking points. Oh, all those Latinos, ha, ha, ha. All those white ladies that voted for him, ha, ha, ha. Mm-hmm. I don't rejoice in that because it affects all of us. But the FAFO that I think is starting to happen now is the corporate one. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of those corporate folks that voted for this administration disregarded what they knew, which is that it would be chaotic. And chaos is not good for business. And now we're starting to see that manifest. Chaos, uncertainty is not what Wall Street and global corporations like. Mm-hmm. It makes us closer to a third world nation.
Well, yeah, that's what we're replicating, because a lot of this political that political setup that we're in, that's largely what we see. We don't really see that in the United States. The United States is not perfect, but at the same time, this type of anarchy and chaos and authoritarianship and fascism is not what we're used to seeing. And for these ICE agents or, Border and Custom Control to be on television after Mayor Bassett's press conference to say, get used to us, we're not going anywhere. It's like a threat to us.
This is a new reality. I was happy to see Mayor Bass out there. I wasn't surprised at all. I've known her for many years personally. She is an activist. She is a community organizer. And I'm starting to hear more feedback from people in other communities that are realizing that. Hopefully they'll get through the talking points, because when you look at what she was being criticized for, it was really not substantive.
Right.
Being out of the country, her terrible, terrible performance against an attacked journalist at an airport. But when you talk about the substance of managing, at least on the right, managing the city, those were not really solid critiques. Now we see what's happening, the way she's defending the city, the way she is standing up to this administration. And it's bad, because Mayor Bass is not a hothead. Mm-hmm. She is a person. She doesn't organize by press conference. She doesn't make proclamations and then not live up to it. She's very strategic. She's a community organizer first, and a mama and a medical worker. So she's very level-headed, even when people are abusing her. So for me, to see her this fired up, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, and it's frankly only going to get worse. But I think that we have had an unlikely ally lately in Mexico. Their president, I mean, she's like a real class act. I don't know a lot about her, but I am impressed just with the fact that she sent firefighters from Mexico to help us out.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's a progressive. I mean, she's what Mexico elected is, she's way more progressive from what I've seen than a Kamala Harris or a Barack Obama. And yeah, you were talking about how she sent aid to Texas. She sent aid
not only to Texas, but to California when our wildfires hit in January. So I think, and then Gavin Newsom is also sending resources to Texas. So what we see, it could be looked at as political theater, but I think that what more so it's like imagery, right? The imagery of standing up and showing what dignity and real leadership looks like, right? Instead of pitting communities against each other and oppressing people because you can. Like, let's take the high road and show people what real leadership is about. Like, let's send resources to help a state that has been riddled with tragedy and trauma as a result of cuts to essential services like the National Weather Service that was literally defunded and likely contributed to the death toll that is happening in Texas right now. It's sending a message to this administration that these kind of cuts to safety nets, to things that safeguard and help our society run better, are costing people their lives, and we are aware of it, and we're here to help as much as we can in the moment. Instead of pointing fingers, we're going to send what needs to be sent.
Right, deal with people on a humanitarian level rather than an ego-driven level. Sherri Bella's here. I'm here. I'm back. Dominique DiPrima. Miles Lowe is back. 800-920-1580. We've got news, traffic, and sports. Then let's talk about it. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Tammy Eswick with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass condemning the use of armed federal agents rushing into a park that was close to where kids between the ages of 5 and 12 were attending a city-run summer camp.
To me, this is another example of the administration ratcheting up chaos by deploying what looked like a military operation in an American city.
Mayor Bass called the situation absolutely outrageous. No word on if anyone was detained. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry is sending emergency responders to flood-ravaged Texas. Reports say they will help with search and rescue teams. Over 100 people have died in that flood event. Washington, D.C.'s mayor has authorized a new youth curfew in the majority black city. Curfew starts at 11 p.m. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Something is going on with the Dodgers pitching staff. The Dodgers have been outscored 38-7 in their last 4 games. They lost their 4th straight Monday night, a 9-1 loss at Milwaukee. A bases-loaded walk in the bottom of the 9th inning gave the Angels a 6-5 win over Texas. The Angels are 21-20 at home. Ben Shelton, the only African-American in the men's quarterfinals at Wimbledon, will play Yannick Sinner of Italy on Wednesday. Sinner, ranked number 1 in the world, is 5-0 against Shelton. At 22, Shelton is the youngest player in the men's bracket to advance to the quarterfinals at Wimbledon since Andy Roddick in 2004. Roddick was 21. Tough break for the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers found out Monday that Halliburton will miss all of next season. Halliburton tore his right Achilles tendon in the first quarter of Game 7 in the NBA Finals on June 22nd. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
LA County's Justice Care and Opportunities Department, also known as JCOD, is changing the justice system for Angelenos. If you or someone you love has recently been arrested, come home from jail or prison, or has been justice involved, JCOD can help. We offer access to housing, employment, court reminders, clothing, education, and more. At JCOD, we believe your life should not be defined by your worst moment, and everyone deserves a second chance. JCOD's Justice Connect Support Center is open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Call us at 833-LAC-JCOD. That's 833-522-5263, or visit us at jcod.lacounty.gov. You can also find us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and YouTube at LAC JCOD. All services are free and confidential. JCOD serves the justice-impacted population all across LA County. Your future isn't behind you, it's waiting. Reach out by calling 833-LAC-JCOD. That's 833-522-5263, or visit jcod.lacounty.gov.
Hey, man. Hey, what's up, bro? What's the station you listening to? Oh, man, you don't know? That's Talk Radio. KBLA, 1580 AM. Check it out. 1580 KBLA AM. 1580 Talk Radio.
KBLA Talk 1580. We're celebrating our 4th anniversary, and this track right here is the gift one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
Where you get some information, get a true education. Just to know, ooh, yeah, 1580.
How cool is that? Having a member of our KBLA delegation write us a song. Stop it! Our listeners love us and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks to Cardell and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you right black.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least likely to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I gotta say, it's wild, Sherri Bell, coming back from Nigeria, Benin, and Ghana. And particularly in Nigeria, you do see a lot of armed police. They carry their semi-automatic weapons out, and they wear military gear. But it's nothing like what we're seeing in these raids. You don't see the military vehicles driving around. Do you agree with that, Miles? I mean, they're a little bit more, or a lot more militaristic looking, but they're not rolling around in tanks.
And I mean, they're kind of, I wouldn't even say really patrolling in a sense. They're kind of more just a post in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Let you know that they are present, but they're not really interacting and getting into the thick of anything out there. But they're definitely more active out there. You do see the guns for sure, but yeah, completely different. Crazy to come back and see what we're seeing now.
It feels very ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take the next caller on the line. How you doing?
Fahima from D.C. Good morning.
Oh, Fahima, how you doing?
Good morning, Sherri Bell and Akwaba Basi, Dominique. Akwaba Basi, which means welcome home in Tweet.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, as you know, a lot has taken place while you were away. It's interesting. I just want to caution everyone because there's a lot of misinformation that has been being spread online. There's a lot. People are using AI to create narratives and stories. And so I just wanted people to encourage people to be cautious and diligent because I was in a space the other day, over the weekend, and one of the participants was talking about an incident that supposedly had happened with ICE raids in Brooklyn, and actually it was a fake video from several years ago when they had Haitian Flag Day. So people, just please be careful. I just want to caution folks to just be careful and verify stories. When I initially trained with Sharon Louise Harper at WBI in New York, she said, if you don't have 3 sources to corroborate a story, you have to do not report it. You got to have 3. They may not all be coming from the same point of view, but, you know, we are being bombarded with a lot of fake narratives and false information.
To me, it also depends on the sources. I'll take 2 if they're solid. If it's the New York Times and CNN, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm going to question their angle, but I won't necessarily question the existence of the story. If it's the guys you never heard of and the Weekly Standard or the New York Post and 10 other people. I'm still questioning that story.
Yeah. Well, one good thing happened in New York. We have a mayoral hopeful who is very progressive, and I'm very excited about that. And sadly, of course, MAGA is attacking him, and unfortunately, some centrist Democrats are attacking him.
Yeah, I did report on that from Africa because it was such a huge story. It was really playing worldwide. Zohran Mamdani is his name.
Yeah, he's a rap artist.
Socialist.
Kwame Mamdani. He actually was named after Kwame Nkrumah.
He's
and it
seems quite brilliant, but
yes.
It's disturbing to me, Fahima, how hard the Dems are coming after him.
Yes. Well, it's interesting. One lady called him a Nepo baby, which was kind of characteristic of how they were calling elected officials, DEI. And lastly, his mother was the director of that classic film, Mississippi Masala, that starred Denzel Washington.
I did not know that. I don't. This gets to the core of the rot in the Democratic Party, because, and I keep saying this, and I know you've heard it, and Bernie keeps saying it, and other people, lean into your progressive wing. That's where the energy is. That's where the young people are. That's where the coalition of various ethnic groups are that can beat these fools. And all they want to do is be Republican light. They want to be corporate. They want to chase, sniff after Liz Cheney. And that's how we keep losing. And meanwhile, Republicans go, oh, these hard leftists, lefts. and the Democrats, no, we're not lefty left. What if we just said, you know what? Yeah, and what about it?
Right.
That's what this guy did, and it worked, and he won, and that's what AOC did, and it worked, and she won, and she keeps winning, and but instead, the Dems want to sabotage our own rising stars to maintain their little corporate, money streams, and I hate it so much, and that is what is making me want to leave the party.
Well, I'll just say this, because I know them both. While Hakeem Jeffries has been reluctant to endorse Zohran Kwame
Is that what you call it? Reluctant?
His brother has been all up and down the hellscape known as Twitter and X, just championing him and encouraging him.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, ladies, I'll sign off with that and continue to listen.
Thank you so much.
As always.
Wait, Fahim, I just had a quick question. You saying that video that's been circulating online with, it looks like the Haitian community is like throwing agents on the ground that try to deport Haitians? That's fake?
That was from Haitian. There was one video that was from Haitian Flag Day in New York several years ago, and another video, Black people tussling with the police in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
There was no ICE raid in Brooklyn.
They got me. I was proud of them, though. but thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the call on Fahima always bringing, timely and important issues to the forefront. And apparently, Hakeem Jeffries is going to sit down with Zohran Mamdani next week, and they're going to, quote, have a conversation about his vision. And it sounds like he's softening. Let me put it that way. To me, what I saw Hakeem Jeffries, his response was immediately like, hell no.
Wow.
But apparently they are going to meet, so we'll see what comes out of that.
Yeah, people got to smarten up. And like you said, some of them rich Democrats have stock interests too. But it's like he was handpicked by Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries. And, at first I thought, man, he's bright. He's a brilliant speaker. He was on his thing. And now that I see him in his leadership position, it's like his light is dimmed. And he kind of seems like a bit of a cornball. I ain't going to lie.
She just called the next speaker in waiting a cornball. I mean, the thing about it is he's very a lot of his positions are very, very moderate to conservative.
Yeah, that's
they
not
are.
good. That's not
I mean,
good.
I would put him to the right of Obama, and that's pretty far right because Obama was always a centrist. We knew he was a centrist. I think what I like about Jeffries is that clearly he learned the job under Nancy Pelosi. He's ready for the job. He'll know how to do it. But what is he whipping votes for? Mm-hmm. Are we in agreement with the things he's going to do? I don't know. I mean, he's very moderate, is what I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad to say, like, when you think about our political parties, it's like we are split. It's like the Republicans, their evil wins. Like, if they are split, whatever they got going on is working for them. The Democrats, we're split between moderate and progressive.
Well, they always cave to, the Republicans always cave at this point to Trump. All of them were talking about they were not going to pass that big, fictitious, ugly bill. Mm-hmm. And all of them, almost every single one of them caved.
Right.
And so it's all bull. They all were saying they weren't going to cut Medicaid. Guess what we're doing, folks?
Right, the first thing.
Cutting Medicaid. And then what they'll do is they'll deny it because they've got these things, time release, so it doesn't happen all at once. Mm-hmm. They'll try to blame Democrats for it, and some of the gullible MAGA folks will believe them. And I feel bad for them because they're the ones they're among the ones getting actually screwed by this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch, Fox News a lot of the time. I don't watch it. But when I have watched it, a lot of times it's important. Like, I know you mentioned you watch both to hear the narrative.
Yeah, but I can only take it in small doses. But Fox News seems normal compared to Newsmax and OAN. Like, Fox News is not even, it's gotten way worse than Fox News. If you watch OAN and Newsmax, it's like watching Trump's voice come out when lips are moving on anchors. Mm-hmm. We've gone beyond Fox now. It's a whole new world.
Just I'm just like curious to know, like, what are people hearing? Like people who are still supporters when these policies are adversely impacting their day-to-day life, their livelihoods, their safety, their pocketbooks, and you are still in support. What is it that you're hearing to make you still believe that you made the right decision? Or are people realizing they did not make the right decision in that ballot box, in that, poll, booth, or, I don't.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to know. I've seen some polling, but nothing too conclusive so far. I want to take a moment to thank James Farr, who filled in for me when I was having travel days, and especially in covering Monday, which was 6 months since the Eden Altadena Palisades fires, and just tracking some of the progress that's been made, what's still to be done. Of course, you can hear James every Saturday right after Black Lives Matter. This is not a drill. Every Saturday at 10, he has the conversation live, Altadena Rising, keep you up to date on the progress and all of those projects, which are numerous, to try to get folks back on track. And boy, we still got a lot of work to do. Mm-hmm. I'm Dominique DiPrima with Sherri Bell. It's perfect time to call us, 800-920-1580. And you're listening to KBLA, Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top-performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships, more than any other school in Los Angeles. We are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Space is limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
It does, and it will. And Sherri Bell is here with me at 800-920-1580 is the number if you want to chime in. And they are in the chat convo, Sherri, as usual, at KBLA 1580 on YouTube. Thank you for hopping right back in, fam. We missed you when we were in Africa, and happy to be back, even though we were happy to be gone.
Right.
It's supposed to be hot this week. Hot, hot, hot again.
Boy, oh boy, I was looking at the news. It said like 112 in the desert. I'm like, goodness gracious.
Yeah. We're trying to get to Miles levels, Las Vegas heat. Not quite there yet. Of course, I always say it, but I'm gonna say it again. You gotta hydrate. People die from heat stroke, heat exhaustion, and heat exposure. Those are 3 different diseases I learned. Didn't know that. But yeah, it's supposed to be hot, and the streets is hot too. People in MacArthur Park were not having it.
The block is hot.
The block is real hot. Our mayor, I think doing a great job in standing up. The governor, same thing. The governor, pushing back, having a moment. But to your point, I don't know how we really stop this. I'm not saying we shouldn't try, by the way.
Right.
But, because the courts are steadily ruling against many of these, we'll call them initiatives, abuses of power, and they seem to be ignoring the courts. I saw an article about the the jailing of some citizens in Sudan. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I think where it ends.
I think that it'd be good to talk to like a law enforcement scholar. For instance, we never seen nothing like this before, right? Where federal government is overstepping local government. I don't think we've ever seen this in the city of Los Angeles before, where there's we don't want you here and you're still here. Right. So what kind of authority does LAPD or the county sheriff have to halt them at the line?
Yeah, well,
right?
If they wanted to, they would have more than if they don't want to, which apparently they don't. By the way, correction to myself, those were not citizens. They were still migrants, but the judge ordered that they can people can stay in South Sudan, which is weird. But anyway, to your point, I was thinking about that yesterday. What happens? Who is the mayor's security detail? LAPD. But the LAPD has been assisting ICE even though they claim they're not. But you see it every protest.
Right. They like get out the way, right?
They get out of the way. They put up skirmish lines. They push the people back to make ICE be able to go through. You saw it at the Dodgers stadium. The people were stopping ICE, and the LAPD made a way for them.
See?
So they can call it whatever they want. They can call it crowd control, but in actuality, they are assisting ICE.
So what does the mayor have to do with that? Like, the mayor controls their budget. Does the mayor have the authority to fire the police chief, right? They have the authority to command the LAPD to do things, right? Am I right or wrong?
Well, the police chief is appointed by the mayor. They have a 5-year term. Technically, they could fire them, but that would be an extraordinary measure. More likely, they wouldn't be rehired. But I'm thinking about if I'm the mayor's detail, and the mayor, as she was yesterday, is confronting federal agents that the LAPD has been protecting and assisting. Who do they side with?
Right.
Do they protect our mayor, or do they protect the aggressive, militaristic, unwanted terrorism of ICE? And I don't know the answer to that. I know what they're supposed to do.
Right.
They're supposed to protect the mayor. What they will do, I couldn't tell you.
I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, we are in a very unique position because when you think about law enforcement, we all have heard the narratives, right? They're there to protect property and not people. They're there to uphold and maintain the current power structure that we're currently in, And so if the current power structure, which is the federal government and our general system that we operate in, favors oppression, like, are they really going to take a stand against that? Are they really going to protect Black women?
Well, that to me is not a mystery. We just look at the track record, but I think you're right. We're in an extraordinary time because not only is the federal government overriding the authority of the city government, also the state government. Gavin Newsom said he don't want those. He doesn't want the National Guard here.
We got state troopers, we got state police, we got LAPD, we got LA County sheriffs,
Fed and ICE and Homeland Security and FBI and who knows who else, because they're masked and they're not identifying themselves, which should be illegal.
But in speaking about how they talking about we ain't going nowhere, they're trying to be Billy Bag, up in our community. It's like, okay, all right, Mayor Bass, Governor Newsom, you know what I'm saying? We got all these law enforcement that are state and local. The feds got the resources, don't get me wrong, but what are we gonna do, right? How big of a stand are you willing to take? What creative measures are you willing to take to ensure that they don't disrespect your constituents and our state and our city? Like, what are you willing to do? Because this can get really ugly, and so either the federal government is gonna have to stand down and fall back, or what? Like, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah, that was kind of the question. I mean, so how far will an elected go? And then what does it do when they go that far? They arrested my brother. He wasn't even protesting. He was the mayor of the city. And now he's suing them.
Right.
But how does that help? It doesn't take those ICE agents off the ground. And my point is, even if the court said this is illegal, which I believe they will continue to do because it is, it's like Attorney Nana Jamfi said on this show, we are in the era of who gonna check me, boo?
Yeah.
Because who is going to make them follow that court ruling?
Show up when they show up. Our local law enforcement, if they are following the direction of the governor and the mayor, that in their order to show up whenever I show up in our communities unprovoked, snatching up people who are, some of them documented, some of them undocumented, whatever, like sending fear through our communities. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to, what side of history are you going to be on? Are you going to get bullied? Or are you, because it's not just about bully, it's allowing unlawful, unconstitutional behavior to take place in a city that you're in charge of.
Yeah. Well, so what would you have them do?
I would have them show up every time they show up. They have a show of force. We have a show of force. What are you doing here? you're not supposed to be here. Like that song by Deborah Cox. No,
yeah.
But, like, nobody's supposed to be here.
I think that's the new theme song for ICE. Yeah.
But yeah,
seriously. No, I mean, really, what you're talking about is starting to happen with people blocking ICE vehicles and stuff. It was something I didn't ever think I'd see on this widespread level. It is starting to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a deterrent. Like, you should feel like it's a waste of time. The federal government should redirect their resources. I mean, I feel bad for some of these agents that don't want to do this stupid crap that they're being asked to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure people don't want to do this, a lot of them.
Well, I've heard that. I've read about that with the National Guard. I don't know about these ICE agents. And then you got the fake ICE agents. Anyone can put on a mask and grab a person.
Ridiculous.
Lawlessness.
Cowards.
Absolutely. Well, Sherri, thank you for coming in and helping me get through day one back in the U.S. of A.
My pleasure.
Jet lagged and on the mic.
Glad to have you back.
Find her at Sherri De La Ghetto, Sherri De La Ghetto on Instagram, or find her at a protest near you. Big ups to you, Sherri. Appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. And we're going to be all right, y'all, in the words of Kendrick Lamar.
I second that. News, traffic, and sports, then more. Talking Point Tuesday, only right here.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tammy Eswick with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass condemning the use of armed federal agents rushing into a park that was close to where kids between the ages of 5 and 12 were attending a city-run summer camp.
To me, this is another example of the administration ratcheting up chaos by deploying what looked like a military operation in an American city.
Mayor Bass called the situation absolutely outrageous. No word on if anyone was detained. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry is sending emergency responders to flood-ravaged Texas. Washington, D.C.'s mayor has